So my question is, as the law says that everyone is equal in the eyes of law, but even after that, we are able to see that there is a lot of discrimination. So the basic point of my question is that discrimination is because of caste system, because of our mentality, or because of the judgmentals we have made for one another? Accordingly, like what can be the exact solution to get rid of that discrimination so that we can go ahead for a future where there will be unity?
If I had a solution, I would have spelled it out by now. Unfortunately, I don't. I can't claim to be the fount of all wisdom, nor can I say that I have answers to every question. That is perhaps the prerogative of a few who believe that they have answers to everything and they know everything under the sun, including what is good for women and what is bad for women. I don't claim to myself that kind of a right. The point I would like to make is simply this. A training and by nature is struggle to make general statements. So if you say discrimination exists, I don't know in which sphere, in what fact or what form of industry, what is it that you're specifically talking about, because it's important to give a context. But be that as it may, let me take your general statement for a given and let's assume that that is the proposition. So one thing that I've realized is the biggest fraud that has been committed on the society by several ideologies is to promise equality and to promise elimination of poverty. Because according to me, neither of them is possible. The point is, you can never achieve equality. Not in this society, in no society. Nor will you ever be able to eliminate poverty, not just in this society, but any society. What you can certainly do is change the quality of poverty. By that, I don't mean intelligently altering the definition of poverty, but simply by saying, if previously you were struggling to have food and that was the definition of poverty, now you're struggling to have Wi-Fi connection, that must be the definition of poverty. Okay? In economics, the answer to that, and I know just a bit of economics, and from what I understand, it's called the rising tide, which is to basically say that the overall standard of living and the quality of living is increased to such an extent that what was previously considered a luxury now becomes a necessity. And your lack of access to that necessity defines your poverty. Maybe that is a better way of achieving that. Because the only society which has managed, or the only ideology that has promised complete elimination of poverty and absolute achievement of equality and has failed miserably and astoundingly is communism. So I think there has been no better example than that. As far as I'm concerned, it's a fantastic goal to have, to try and reach that particular goal. But if you're going to impose artificial restrictions and artificial constraints to make everybody equal, there are two ways of doing it. Rise everybody up or pull everybody down. Do what you wish to do.